Okay, in this video we're going to be looking at stem and leaf plots. So it's a kind of unique type of graphical representation we can have with data, but it helps us really understand sort of different trends, etc. So we'll go through a few of the topics, we'll go through examples, and at the end I'll get you to answer a couple of discussion questions. So let's just start off with the intro. So a stem and leaf plot is a useful way of presenting numerical data in a way that allows trends to be spotted easily. And I wanted you to write that down because that's the main feature of them. It allows us to easily spot trends, and I'll show you how we do that. Each number is split into a stem, which is the first digit or digits, and a leaf. Okay, so the last digit. So this image here is a representation of it. We have the stem, which is that first digit, and then the leaf off of it, which is the last digit that we have. So here's an example. So 53, the stem is a 5, and the leaf is a 3. For 78, the stem is a 7, the leaf is the 8. And for 125, the stem is 12 and the leaf there is 5. And that's how basically we set it up. So the convention leaves are shown in increasing order. Okay, so they go this way. They go increasing order as you work your way through the stem. And the advantage of presenting data like this comes when multiple numbers have the same stem. So if we looked at this list here, if we just were observing this list, we find it hard to find a trend, but when we separate that into a stem and leaf graph, which you see there, we can easily start to spot trends. Okay, so I know that I've got, I can see a bit of a pattern there. It's a lot easier than sort of just looking at the list of numbers. So that's a useful part of a stem and leaf. Now, key learnings, and you're going to need to write these down in your notes, so make sure you have these important 4 points. So a stem and leaf plot is a way to display numerical data. So we only use it for numerical data. Each number is usually split into the stem and also the leaf, as we mentioned earlier. And I'll get you also to write that example down so you know the difference there. So leaves should be aligned. I'm going to change this from vertically to horizontally. Okay, they should be arranged horizontally, so the leaves go this way and the stems go down that way. And as you move away from the stem, and any outliers can be identified by looking at the lowest value or the highest value. So it's really helpful for us to find the range. The highest value and the lowest value is a great example. So that's a stem and leaf plot. Now we're going to move on to just doing some worked examples. So I'll do these and then you're going to need to do some on your own. So the first question here is, these are the average daily temperatures as shown from different countries. So I've got the stem and the leaf, and we're going to answer these questions here. So write out the temperature as a list. I'll pause quickly and I'll do that for you right now. So here we have the list that I've written out. I simply just went across from the stem. I would go each stem at a time and then add in those digits, and that created me my list here. And we can now answer part B. So how many countries temperatures are represented? I just simply need to count each one. Okay, and if I go through that, I'll see that there's probably about 14. So the answer there is 14. What are the minimum and maximum temperatures? So this is where stem and leaf plots are really good. I can easily indicate the smallest number and the biggest number purely based on looking at that stem and leaf plot. So I have 13 is the minimum, and the maximum here is 32. See, that would easily lead into our next question. What is the range of the temperatures recording? So again, remember, range is just minusing the highest number from the lowest, and that will give us the answer of 19. And finally, last question, what is the median temperature recorded? So we know that we have 14 in total, so it's going to be the 7th number along, so the 7th and the 8th number. I'll quickly calculate that for you and get back to you. Okay, I've circled here the two middle median numbers, so we have 22 and 25. And remember, to find the median, we need to add these two together and then divide by 2. Okay, and if we do that calculation, we'll get the answer of 23.5. So that's how we respond and answer questions using a stem and leaf, but how do we actually create one? And we'll go over to this question here. So represent this set of data as a stem and leaf plot. I'll quickly do that for you, and I'll explain how I did that. Alright, so first thing I needed to do was sort it into ascending order. So you see that now that I've structured it like that, it's easy to then to create my stems and then my leaves off that. So I know I only have the stems as 1, 2, and 3, so I could just set up my stems, and then I created those leaves from there. So that's how you then create your stem and leaf chart. So set them into ascending order, the data that you have, and then you can easily break it down into your stem and leaf. So that is a stem and leaf plots. Again, make sure you understand the reasons why we need them. Now, what you'll do after this is you'll see there's a discussion question. I want you to respond to those discussion questions, and we'll talk about them in class. Thanks, guys.